Okay, welcome to the very first episode of Dungeons, Dudes, and Dragons. My name is David Ashbaugh, coming to you from Linköping, Sweden, and we've got a rowdy group of adventurers ready to go. You know what? Why don't we just get on with the introductions? Darren, why don't you go ahead and lead us off?
What's going on? My name is Darren, and I'm located in Canada on a lovely island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And my name is Doridius Ortinius.
And David, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. My name is David. I'm middle of the prairie in Alberta in Canada, and excited to be here.
Yeah, we're fairly spread out here. And then our third adventurer on the party, Mr. Alex. Alex, what's up?
Hey, my name is Alex. My character name is Sir Alex of Kerrigan, and my name is Alex Kerrigan. That's very original. I'm over in technically Surrey, but no one really knows where Surrey is, so I'm going to say Vancouver just for a bit more accuracy. I like long walks on the beach. I enjoy...
You're kicked from the party.
Yeah. How do we mute Alex?
Yeah.
Made it 14 seconds.
A new record in Dungeons & Dragons. Later, guys.
Anyways, just a little bit of background. This is going to be a Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Well, you know what? If there's any rules lawyers that are going to be listening, this is not going to be a Dungeons & Dragons podcast. This is going to be a loosely based Dungeons & Dragons podcast. But these three adventurers are going to be playing themselves, kidnapped from their regular lives and thrown into the world of Faerun and Dungeons and Dragons. And we have established a rule before this recording that Dungeons and Dragons does not technically exist in the world they're getting kidnapped from. So, you know, you can't metagame this shit at all. So, you know.
So I can't bring my monster manual? Oh.
No, that was not on the list of items I allowed you to bring with you.
That would have come in really handy in identifying what we were about to fight.
All right, you know what? Let's kick it off. Everybody roll me a D6.
There we go. Hey.
Oh, David with the 6. All right.
D20, D6.
Oh, ooh, that could have been better.
Could have been worse.
That's fair.
All right, so David, we're going to start with you.
Oh boy.
Are you ready?
I guess so.
Well, now I just need to find in my script where I have your kidnapping. There it is. Okay, so your day starts like any other day for a man in the trades. You wake up pretty early, I'm assuming. What time does your alarm go off in the morning typically?
The first alarm at 5 and the second alarm at 5:15.
Perfect. How do you usually start? Take us through your regular morning routine before you hit the road.
Well, I wake up and I very quietly try to sneak around the house to give myself about 15 extra minutes of not waking up my kid so I can have a little bit of me time, drink my coffee, get everything ready before waking him up, getting him ready, and then getting out the door and dropping him off at daycare.
Perfect. Now, unfortunately, David, you've got a long day ahead of you. Your boss has told you to attend a work site where the construction workers have been saying that some of the wires and fuse boxes you installed a few weeks ago have been malfunctioning. So how long have you been an electrician?
3 years.
3 years. Okay, roll me a sleight of hand. This is going to determine how well you installed those malfunctioning parts.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Ooh, a 9. Okay, so...
True to life.
An apprentice, yeah.
The fact that these things are not working checks out. Apparently you're not very good at your job. So you continue on your way to the job site. You're not looking forward to having to, rework things you've already done. You've told, obviously, there's reports of flickering lights simply not turning on. And yesterday they had to disconnect the main breaker because it started to spark and smoke. So you arrive at the job site. What do you do?
I gonna go have a smoke first because that's typical trade fashion.
Got to identify the problem, yeah.
Yeah, little safety meeting with everyone, got to go stand around outside for a little bit.
Of course.
And then I'm just going to stare at it for a little bit.
All right. So,
see if something comes to me.
Stare at what?
The wall. Just to stare at the fuse box at the main breaker. I'm just going to look at it and just hope that something comes to me.
Make me a perception check.
Do.
Oh, okay, that's a good roll. A roll of 16 on your perception. So you notice that the breaker box has some light scorching on it, and the door to the breaker box is actually slightly ajar. And since you rolled actually pretty good, you also notice some unusual footprints in the dust on the floor. They appear humanoid, but absolutely massive. However, They haven't left any sole pattern. There's no discernible lines in the footprint. It's kind of like something you would see on somebody wearing basically just a big old leather bag on their foot. Maybe Shaquille O'Neal was tramping around there in, a Safeway bag or something. How do you proceed?
Okay, well, I guess, is it just one footprint, or are they kind of leading somewhere? Like, can I follow them?
No, they're just kind of all around the floor in the room with the fuse box. You don't really notice any trail leading out of that room.
Okay, well, I mean, realistically, I guess I'd probably open up that box and take a look inside and check the wiring and all that. See if there's anything loose, make it safe.
So as you're inspecting the box, you suddenly feel the hair on your arms stand straight up. You feel like there's a surge of energy building up, and you realize that whatever is happening is about to reach its climax. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, saving throw, right, here we go.
Okay. As whatever is about to come to its peak, you quickly throw yourself to the floor, and you avoid a massive arc of electricity, something that should not be possible from a fuse box like this. It shoots out from the fuse box straight at where your chest was, and as you get off the floor, you turn around, and standing before you are two creatures that leave you in a bit of a bewilderment. One is a massive green-skinned creature with protruding bottom teeth and a black ponytail. The other is a weird red-skinned, yellow-eyed creature, about the same size and build as you, but he also has two large devil horns protruding from his head. And unfortunately, before you have time to react, the large one says, "No hard feelings, my boy." And he smacks you over the head with a very large club. You hit the floor hard. Very, very hard, unfortunately. Roll me a D8 of damage.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Paying for these rolls.
Okay.
I got that PPE on, my friend.
You got a very minor traumatic brain injury, lucky you.
The best kind of traumatic brain injury at the end of the day.
Exactly. And just as you're about to lose consciousness, blood pooling around your head on the floor, you hear one of them say, "You killed him, you bellend." And the other guy says, "No, but he'll wish I had." And everything fades to black. And okay, so Alex rolled higher than Darren. So Alex, we will go to you next.
Ooh, it's my turn now.
Yeah, so it's an early shift for you, as it sometimes is as a traffic reporter. You're up at the crack of 3 a.m., and unfortunately you got to sleep late last night, so you're struggling to find the will to get out of bed, to go to do your job and let everyone know how shitty all the drivers in Vancouver are.
That's a Monday, all right.
Give me a Constitution check.
Constitution, okay. Where's my Constitution?
So Alex rolled a 4 on his Constitution check, and so basically you're a zombie getting out of bed. You're stumbling towards the bathroom to brush your teeth, have a quick shower, and you know what? Just take us through your morning routine as well.
Oh, that's pretty much it. I'm going to wake up, take a shower, quietly masturbate, and make some coffee. And being that it's a 3 a.m. shift, like, if it was a typical one, I'd have a bit more time to just, fart around. But, like, I'm literally, like, running around trying to get on the road. So, throw some fucking Eggos in.
I love that you're not too tired to masturbate quietly in the morning.
You got to get your energy somehow,
Oh, I'm going to need that dopamine hit, especially if I'm getting up at fucking 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, throw some Eggos in, get the coffee, and probably just throw it in a coffee mug, and then get right in the car and get on the road.
And lucky for you, at this time in the morning, the roads are fairly clear in Vancouver. It's still a few hours before that morning rush hits, which you will be reporting on. And you get to work, no problems, no issues. You enter the front door of your downtown office building, and you get to your desk. What is your morning routine as soon as you get to work before you hit the air?
I typically try to log on, take a look at the roads, take a look at some of the cameras, and see if there's any overnight work that has been done. Make chit chat with the producer and talk to him about how shitty the morning was getting in. I leave out the part where I was quietly masturbating. And then I just start getting my script ready to start talking, which is usually pretty minimal. whatever the overnight work is. I think I get more coffee too because we got free coffee at the station. So I'm gonna go and get that and then bring that back to my desk and log in.
Alex, I am so happy you mentioned coffee. So you make yourself a pot of coffee and you prepare to report on how many untrained truck drivers have crashed into bridges today. Make me a perception check with advantage because, this is coffee you drink every day. So with advantage, that means you roll twice and take the best of the two rolls.
It's the perception check. That would be this one, I think.
So roll it twice. That's a 15 on your first roll. It's not bad.
Not bad.
Oh, and 21.
Better.
Oh, my.
Oh, that's good coffee.
Strong coffee, yeah.
So you realize with that roll that the coffee tastes pretty different today. But, maybe it's just a different roast that you're used to, or the more likely scenario is corporate. Always loves cutting corners and cheaping out on everything they can. So they probably just told the office manager to buy cheaper coffee. And that's kind of what goes through your mind as you're drinking your first cup of joe in the morning, getting ready to go on the air. And Alex, this is an improv podcast, of course. And I'm going to ask you to give us some Vancouver traffic reporting.
Or right now?
Yep, absolutely. No, later.
Yeah, on next week's episode, if you could.
Well, we're looking at road work over at Oak Street at 70th Avenue. You're down to 2 lanes each way. And because it's 5:01 in the morning, it's really not that bad right now, but that's going to get bad. Canby at 49th, likewise, you're down to 2 lanes in each direction, so heads up through there. And over in Surrey, crews are actually wrapping up on Highway 17 in between Tannery and Bridgeview Drive. So that's going to open up as well, but just be aware that crews are leaving the scene. They've had a long night, so drive slow, drive carefully as you're working way up to that one. Anything else you see, give me a call at the phone number for our radio station.
That's just, you gotta.
Love it.
Well played.
That is a professional right there, folks. All right, Alex, I want you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw. Let's see. There's Constitution.
Yeah.
I'm off to a good start.
Dice on fire tonight, guys.
Unfortunately, you needed a net 20 to pass this check. So, Alex,
Oh, God.
Right?
you have just finished your first traffic report, which we just heard, and you try to stand up, but you realize you can't. You try to move your arms. Nothing's happening. You try to scream for help, but nothing comes out. What you can do is look into your coffee cup, and you realize it has a bit of an odd color to it. Your eyelids feel heavy. Your brain feels like it's on fire. And just as you're about to lose consciousness, you hear a slimy, greasy voice say, "Well, at least it didn't almost kill this one." And then you lose consciousness and everything fades to black. And we'll get to Darren.
All right.
Warts.
Let's do this.
You're working at the station as you usually do. Take us through your routine when you first get to the station and prep for your shift.
So I'll roll in probably around 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, and I'll walk into the building, unlock the doors, get in up to the alarm system, deactivate the alarms, and then I'll walk into the studio, turn on all the lights, like our LED lights and the TV behind me and everything like that, get all the shit set up for the day, boot up my computer, and then sit down and start scrolling the day's news, any stuff that maybe happened overnight that I missed the day before when I was prepping the show. And then I'll open up like a spare Word document or something. I'll just start kind of scripting out hot points from stories I want to talk about and hit on. And like any jokes or good outs that I want to have, and just kind of place everything out. And then right around probably 5:45, I have everything done. And I go, this is Alex did, to the staff washroom. And I loudly masturbate. And then go get myself... and then I'll go brew myself a coffee right beforehand as well, so it's ready to go kind of right around 6 when the show kicks off, and then just go sit back at my computer and like scroll Twitter and Threads and Instagram and shit like that, just to see what everything's up to for the day.
All right, Darren, you're in your studio, you're doing your show. Give us a piece of Darren on air.
Morning. It's I don't want to say the radio station name, but we'll say 103.1. Is Darren here hanging out with you? That was Gowan. Strange Desires on that one. My God, I hope you weren't tired before, because Gowan going to put everyone to sleep with that one. Hanging out with you until 10 o'clock this morning, and then we got another 80s and 90s whatever weekend going to be taking you through that throughout your weekend. So hopefully you like listening to Third Eye Blind every 45 minutes.
Speaking of strange desires, apparently masturbating in the bathroom at work.
Thinking of Gowan, of course. That's the way I'm supposed to do it.
All right, so you're obviously very familiar with your studio, so I want you to roll me a perception check with advantage.
Perception check with advantage. All right.
That's a 9 on its first roll. Second roll, big money, and an 8. All right, so with that 9 roll, you do realize that something feels off about this studio. You're not too sure what it is. You can't really put your finger on it. But all of a sudden, you realize that the ambient sound of the song the station was playing has faded away. In fact, all outside sound has faded away. It's just silence in the studio now.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, a message flashes on the monitor of your studio computer, and it says, push here to play. What do you do?
Does it look the same as the operating system that I use daily, or is it a different look? Like, is it...
Say yes.
It looks the same as everything? Okay, well, I would
It looks the same, yeah.
I would just, assume that was a regular pop-up, and I guess I would stupidly push the button.
And as you click the button, a green mist starts to fill the room.
Mm-hmm.
You start to feel dizzy. Give me a Constitution saving roll.
Hey.
Oh, that's actually not too bad. Unfortunately, it's not good enough.
For the love of God. You needed it 22.
Yeah. Needed the perfect 30.
So you are dizzy, you're uncomfortable, you're disoriented, and all of a sudden, you start to feel like you want to just lie down. And the last thing you hear before losing consciousness is a gruff voice say, "Vital subject acquired," and everything fades to black.
I would just like to point out that while all this is happening, I do not take it well, and I am freaking out the entire time.
Excellent. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't expect most people to take the fact that their audio studio is filling with green mist and are about to lose consciousness well.
I do not go silently into that long good night.
But I'm glad you clarified that for us.
Yeah. It's different than the green gas I usually inhale at home.
Okay, everybody make me a perception roll. Wow, those are 2 good rolls and a really crappy roll from Alex. So we got a 16 from Darren, 17 from David, and a 7 from Alex. So all of you, well, actually, no, Alex doesn't. So Darren and David, you open your eyes, and, well, you see 2 other guys in this weird room with you. And with those good perception checks, you can tell that you're in a room that looks like a dungeon out of Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings. You know, it's cobblestone, it's moist, it's moldy. There's a small little window up above you with wrought iron bars. And you see another guy unconscious on the ground next to you, which is Alex with his shitty perception roll.
Now, how lit is the room? Like, can I tell who the other people are? Like, can I see light on their face or anything? Or is it just silhouettes?
You can see within about 10 feet of you. So you are close enough to the other players to be able to determine that, obviously David is somebody that you know in your real life. Alex is somebody that you've interacted with, but might not. I don't know. Have you ever actually seen Alex?
Yeah, I'd know Alex if I saw him on the street.
Okay, so you do recognize these 2 other people as people that you know from everyday life.
David? What the fuck?
Where am I?
What is going on? I'm just rubbing my eyes right now, kind of sitting up and leaning against the back and just looking around, being like, what is going on? Why are we here?
Last thing I remember, I got bit by some electricity.
Got bit by electricity?
Got bit by it hurt.
Holy shit, yeah, I was just doing my show and all of a sudden just a bunch of fucking gas started coming out of my screen and I passed out.
All right, so at this point, Alex, you wake up and join the conversation.
I was, where the fuck am I?
Oh, the other guy's I think I know Alex? I'm squinting. through the dark right now and be like, I think, are you Alex from Vancouver?
Yeah.
Weird. I have you on Facebook.
It's like that old Molson Canadian commercial. It's like, do you know Doug from Canada?
Yeah, never met him.
I was just in Vancouver. This is clearly not fucking Vancouver. What is going on?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know many dungeons around my place.
So you also all notice that you are currently shackled. Well, at least your hands are. And as you look down, you notice that these aren't handcuffs as you would recognize them. These are, as you might consider them irons, from Pirates of the Caribbean or something, clap them in irons. You're shackled. Your hands are shackled. And your hands are also in the shackles are chained to the ground. So you don't have much freedom of movement within this dungeon.
Can I stand up straight?
No.
Okay.
You can stand up, but you're going to be basically bent over at a 90-degree angle because your hands, the chain that is keeping your hands to the floor is not long enough for you to stand up straight.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Everybody make me another perception check, please.
Oh, no. Critical fail.
Oh, Alex, nat 20. Okay, I was not expecting this. Okay, so Alex, with the nat 20, and also David, you can hear this as well. I don't know, Darren's got some earwax clogging up his ears or something. But you can hear the sound of a raucous crowd. Somewhere in the distance, you hear the sound of what sounds like steel banging together. And you hear the crowd chanting, "Kill, kill, kill."
Guys, I think we're in an industrial rave.
This is not the work site I was just on.
Yeah, are we in the club from Blade?
Alex, with that natural 20, you also realize that the three of you are not alone in this room. There is another person on the other side of the room, fairly far away, so it is a bit dark, but you can just make out the silhouette of another person sleeping on the ground in this same room as you.
Guys, we're not alone. There's somebody else sleeping in this room.
I whisper right away and go, I've seen Saw. I bet that motherfucker's in on it.
You guys want to do anything to try and get that person's attention? Or?
I'd like to, can I look at my chains and investigate just kind of if there's any cracks or if they're rusted or if they're in good condition. I just want to know if there's anything I can do in hopes to break them at some point.
Yeah, sure. Give me an investigation roll. Okay, so with an 18 on your investigation, you can tell that these are fairly well-worn manacles.
Okay.
They're not new. They're rusted, they're chipping, and they've got some dried liquid on them that looks suspiciously like dried blood.
Oh, good. Okay. So we're just kind of whispering to everyone. We're within 10 feet of each other, you said?
Yeah, you're. Let's just say you're kind of not quite shoulder to shoulder, but you're lined up on the back wall of this this dungeon. You're able to chat quietly with each other.
Should we try and wake that guy up? I don't know if I want to trust anybody I don't know right now. I'm still very scared and confused.
I definitely think we should wake that guy up, and I don't want to make a big commotion for trying to wake him up to alert anybody else. So I want to look for something to throw at him.
Yeah, rock or something on the floor.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody make me a perception check. Oh, whoa, those are some good rolls. 17, 14, and 14. Okay, so you all see that the cobblestone that this dungeon is made out of, there's some cracked cobblestone on the floor that you could probably just wriggle out of the floor to toss it his way.
Anybody want to try and chuck something over at that guy and maybe try and get it close so the sound wakes him up? We don't want to chuck any boulders though in case there's bad people around us.
I would try to hit him in the ass.
Love it.
All right, Alex, roll me a athletics check.
There we go.
Oh, damn. Oh,
Designated roller, man.
Yeah, Alex hacked this program or something. Alex rolled a 21. Okay, so with your athletics check, you throw this little rock that you've got with the accuracy of a professional dart player.
Right in the butt.
And you hit him directly between the cheeks.
I'm telling you guys, like, we're getting off to a good start, but like, it's all going to be downhill.
When it matters, when it's combat, it's nothing but ones from
I
Atlas.
was going to say you should save these rules. So you successfully hit him, and he kind of, jostles awake, and he kind of leans up, and he's like, "Oh, who threw that? Oh, what is your problem, eh?"
I'm just pointing at Alex.
I immediately accused David of throwing it.
Yeah, we're Spider-Man memeing it right now, pointing at each other.
Yeah, you know what, guys, it's okay, apparently I've been paired with you for the upcoming competition, typically they want 4 people for these types of adventures, but seeing as how there's only 3 of you, I got stuck with you, and I'm guessing you're a bunch of newbies.
Can you tell us more? What are you talking about?
Well, you're here for the fight, obviously. You're in shackles, you got kidnapped, Wait, are you them?
What? Who's them?
Are we who?
What kind of Newfoundland urban legend are you referring to here?
We're at PEI, guys. I know where we are. We figured it out.
So he looks at you with a bit of wonderment in his eyes, and unfortunately for you, at this point, the sun is just starting to peek through that tiny little window in the cell, and you can see illuminated on the other side of the cell as you is a very small but fully formed adult, what looks like a human being. However, they're very, very small. About, from your estimation, about 3 feet tall. He's got red hair, a big red beard, and he's looking at you as if he's seen a pot of gold, basically.
Question. We haven't... Dungeons & Dragons doesn't exist in this world, but does Lord of the Rings, Greater Higher Fantasy exist in the world we're coming from? Okay, so I look at the guys and I go, I know a fucking dwarf if I've ever seen one.
He pipes out like he called little people. He pipes out and he goes, excuse me, I'm a halfling. Thank you very much. Okay, dwarves are a little fatter than myself.
So I kind of, not knowing Dungeons & Dragons, kind of look confused, and I look at David and go, a hobbit?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm just, okay. I'm just very confused still and dazed by what the fuck
What is he on about?
Yeah, still.
Okay, well, perhaps I should offer some explanation, eh? Okay, so I'm understanding that you guys are confused because you're some of the ones that got kidnapped from the other, I don't know, the other world or whatever it is, but I've never encountered one of you as before. There's rumors that people like you exist within our realm, but this is quite exciting to be able to actually meet you.
So you guys don't have radio announcers where you're from? Or
what is radio?
oh, this fuck. Okay.
Explain frequencies to this halfling, if you could.
Yeah, what does AM and FM mean?
Well, AM actually stands for amplification modulation, and FM stands for frequency modulation. But what the fuck are we?
Yeah, what is this contest you're talking about? Why am I in shackles? Like, what is going on, man?
Oh, well, you see, you 3 unfortunately have been kidnapped for some blood sport. There's rumors going around as to why people like you end up in our place, but mostly it's basically either slavery or blood sport or,
I am now
really good about it.
standing as much as I can, and I am pulling on my chains against the wall once he said blood sport and fighting.
All right, everybody make me a perception check. 22 for Darren, 15 for David, and a 19. 19 for Alex. Hot dice.
Yeah.
All right, so all 3 of you start feeling an absolutely searing pain on your forearm, as if someone is actively tattooing you. And as you look down, you see words and legitimately a tattoo start to form on your arm out of some sort of magic. You have no idea what's going on. However, this tattoo, once it's complete, you realize that it outlines and details all the things that you're capable of doing within this realm. You see a bar that says HP, You see a class and a race. You see lines of text that seem to be some sort of guide to what you're capable of doing, things like attacks, spells, and something called cantrips. So, now I would like you to take this time to introduce your characters and let your companions know what is on your forearm. Darren, let's start with you.
Greetings, friends. My name is Dorinius Wartinius. It would appear that I am a variant Azamar wizard, level 1. I have a quarterstaff, and I can also deal in unarmed strikes. I have magic I can apparently deal. I can, throw acid. What is these cantrips that I'm looking down at here? Oh, wow, I can fight with, weapons and stuff like that. I don't know what a lot of this means, but I'm seeing, magical sounding things, man. I can apparently speak other languages with the whatever celestial, elvish, and goblin is. I know what the last two are, but celestial's kind of freaking me out a little bit. And
You're Peter Quill.
Yeah, right? My God, I'm Star-Lord.
All right, David, why don't you go ahead? Give us an intro to who you are going to be playing in this campaign.
Holy fuck, this tattoo is really weird. It's just my name backwards. It says I'm Devad Notape.
Weird.
And it says I'm a Tiefling Bard. I don't know what that means, but Tiefling seems kind of metal as fuck, and I kind of like the idea of that, but I don't really know what that means. Apparently, I can use a crossbow and a sickle, and I can play instruments.
And Alex.
Okay, this tattoo is really fucking hurting, but apparently my name is Sir Alex of Kerrigan, which is not that original, but I'm also a half-elf fighter. I appear to be some kind of criminal or spy, and I could speak Common, Elvish, and Goblin, which I think is going to hopefully come in handy here. And I guess that's it. I don't know. This tattoo is still kind of freaking me out here. I've never really seen anything like this.
Are you guys itchy? Mine's really itchy.
Yeah, mine's cracking it, man. Whoever did this sucks.
And you hear from the corner, a voice by Pape says, "Oh yeah, make sure you study those brands real close because you're gonna need them real soon. You want to know what you're capable of, and literally your life is gonna depend on it."
My man, what's your name? We haven't been formally introduced.
It's nice that you asked. My name is Chuck Chaluzzi, but most people call me Chuck. My full name is Charles Tremblay Chaluzzi. It's good to meet you.
When you say we're going to be fighting, are we fighting other people like us, or what are we up against here, dude?
Oh, it changes every time, it really depends on what the master is feeling today. Sometimes you're gonna be fighting beasts, sometimes you're gonna be fighting other people like you, sometimes you're gonna be fighting dwarves, or, stuff like that. Last week, actually, it was a real big thing. They had this weird beast from your realm. It was super tall, had real short arms, basically a giant lizard. I believe they called it a Tyrannosaurus Dex.
These motherfuckers have dinosaurs?
What? Wait, Chuck, you still you've done this before. Are you, how are you so accustomed to this?
Well, I've been here for a while. I fought a few fights in my day, and you know what? I'm going to help you guys out because, you might even say I'm a higher level than you.
Can you tell me, you mentioned a master. Can you tell me more about that, Chuck?
Oh, yeah, he's the guy that runs this whole operation. He likes bringing things in to fight for the crowd, and it keeps the crowd from rebelling against him because, he's a fairly corrupt individual himself.
Oh, good.
Is he an actual person, or would you call him maybe God, or?
Oh, no, he's a guy. He's pretty ugly, but, he's got lots of money, so that doesn't really matter.
Good. Classic rich making us fight for their entertainment.
Yeah. So, as this is happening, and as you're chatting with Chuck, your new friend, after a while, you hear the door unlock. It opens with a heavy thud, and before you stands a hulking man in big armor and a massive battle axe. And he says,
"You four, on your feet, maggots."
I don't really want to.
Yeah, can I have some of that armor you got, my man?
And behind him streams in 4 individual, well, they're also shackled, but they have keys on them. And they come in and they unlock your chain, but not your shackles, so your hands remain shackled.
You 4, follow me.
And he turns and walks out the door.
I guess I
Don't really have a choice.
behind Alex and David, I walk.
Okay, so Chuck leads the way out the door, and he says, "Don't worry, okay? As long as you don't cause any problems, you should be okay. The first fight for newcomers is usually a pretty easy one. You know, they usually feed you up to, like, like a bunny and some wolves or something. But, you know, I think we're going to be okay."
I can kill a rabbit, but a wolf might be hard, guys.
So as you walk through what seems like an endless hallway, because you're terrified, it's in fact just a very short hallway. You hear the crowd chanting, getting louder and louder and louder, and you walk past different cells that contain creatures of all kinds. Creatures you can only imagine in your wildest nightmares. So everybody make me a perception check.
Perception. Wow, hot dice.
Yeah, killing it.
We're really good at this game.
We beat the game, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's totally it. All right, so with those wonderful perception checks, Alex, you take your eyes off the ground and you take a quick glance to your left and you hear a gruff voice say,
Looks like we got some fresh meat, boys. This one looks tasty.
and it's a large, scaly-skinned creature with a sharp face and piercing blue eyes. And although you only glance at it for a second, you could swear you just saw a bipedal dragon.
I tell him to eat me.
Oh, don't worry, my boy. The time will come.
Poor choice of words, Alex.
So I flip him the bird and keep walking.
I'll start with that finger first.
So, David, you're confused. You have no idea what the fuck is going on. And you're on the verge of freaking out, as pretty much anybody would. And just as you're about to just kind of break down, start yelling at anyone you can muster, a small voice catches your attention. It says,
Oh, don't worry, darling. You look like you can handle yourself. Just make sure you study your ground, keep your head up, and most of all up, have fun.
and you look to your right, and you see a person who has said this to you. And as she finishes speaking, she catches your gaze, and she winks. And she can only be described as a very attractive woman with long blonde hair.
Yeah, all right.
However, she's only about 3 feet tall, so you recognize this as another halfling. However, she's also got a small lute in her hand, and she strums a quick little tune. And David, you have received Bardic Inspiration. So which means you can use an additional d6 roll on your next attack, ability, or saving throw within acceptable amount of time. You know, you can't save this until the end of the campaign. It'd be like, remember episode 1?
Yeah, okay, all right.
And Darren, you are trailing in the back of the group. Chuck is leading the procession. However, you're staring straight ahead, and you see a large wrought iron gate. Through it, all you see is blaring sun, and the cobblestone walkway you're currently walking on turns into a white sand surface.
Oh, God.
The gate begins to rise, and the guard yells,
Prisoners, stop!
"What do you all do?"
I stop. I'm listening at this point. I'm just paralyzed in fear.
I stop, but I also tell him to eat me.
And he looks at you and says,
I'm not really into that.
and he turns to you and he says,
Choose your weapons and armor.
and you look to the walls beside you, weapons, armor, items of all kind. And above each rack, there's a sign that designates weapons for each class. You see a rack that says Ranger, you see a rack that says Rogue, you see a rack that says Warlock, etc., etc., etc. And now you get to tell us what weapons and items you have chosen to include with your character as far as combat is concerned.
I see just some kind of light-looking leather armor that's kind of almost like Fallout, big, heavy shoulder pad with like a side strap going down it, but there's like a smock underneath it, so it's kind of like head to toe, just like boiled leather with some clasps and some rings and stuff on it for a little accoutrement. And because on my forearm I see that like with like quarterstaffs and stuff, I know enough that, you know, magic and quarterstaffs go together, so that must be for me. So I grab myself a little kind of like hand crossbow that I put on the little hip clip that was on the armor I grabbed, and I grab a quarterstaff.
6-shooter there.
Yeah, and then I grab the little quarterstaff in my other hand.
All right, David, what do you choose for your character?
Well, I'm kind of looking at the wall, and I'm looking at my tattoo, and it says that I should probably choose the studded leather, so I'm going to go for that. Makes me feel a little bit like I'm in an 80s hair metal band, but I'm going to go for it anyways. I'm going to grab a little sickler. That seems pretty metal. I kind of like that. And when that...
Face throughout looking cool before you go out. Yeah, if I'm going to die in a pool of my own piss and shit, I'm going to look sick while I'm doing it.
And I also grab a little hand crossbow. And that little sexy little 3-foot woman, she played me that sweet little tune on that lute, and I kind of like that, so I grab the lute as well, or grab a lute as well.
I like it. What does the lute look like?
Great question.
Looks like a guitar, I think. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lute is like, if you imagine, like literally like a bard at like, you know, court in the medieval ages. It's kind of like a small oval type looking guitar.
Like the one Buddy has in Kingkiller Chronicles, David.
Oh yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, and it's let's say it looks a little more V-shaped, like a metal band. You know what I'm saying?
Flying V.
Yeah, flying lute. Yeah.
And Alex, what are you picking off that wall to help you survive this encounter?
But first off, I'm looking down at my tattoo and I'm realizing that it says fighter. And then I'm doing a quick memory check and realizing that I've told 2 unknown beasts to eat me. And I'm thinking I might be in trouble here.
Yeah.
So I go to grab some armor that looks a little bit more like, I guess, like Roman gladiator inspired. But I pick it up because it has multiple holsters on it. And I pick up a crossbow because contrary to what I've said, I actually don't want to be eaten. So I get a crossbow to give myself some distance, and then I pick up 2 short swords, and I holster the both of them, and I think to myself, I don't really want to be over encumbered, and this is already 3 weapons. So I'm thinking this is probably going to help for the time being, at least for the bunny rabbit and the wolf. And I holster my short swords, and I hold my crossbow, and I start to pray.
All right. And as you all 3 are doing this, you turn around and see the wrought iron gate leading into the arena, and you see Chuck is there, already decked to the nines. He knows what he's doing. He's got himself a longbow. He's got himself a couple of short swords, a quiver full of arrows. He turns to you and says, "Okay, boys, this is it. Make sure you're ready to go."
Seeing that he's got arrows, go shit, and I go find a little like hip quiver of arrows for my other thigh, and I strap that on. And I also see there's a little dagger, a couple daggers sitting in a bucket, and I just kind of pick those up and put them into my respective boots.
Perfect. And just because it's a bitch to keep track of, we will not be keeping track of ammo in this campaign.
Thank God. And by the way, that's you.
Yes, you can call me. Yes, you can call me God. And so you are all decked out. All 4 of you are kind of standing shoulder to shoulder in front of the gate, and you hear the roar of the crowd get louder and louder, and you walk out into the arena. Everybody give me a perception check.
Are we still shackled too?
No, you have been unshackled at this point. Thank you for asking.
Okay. I silently masturbate. I don't.
All right, so Darren, with your 18 perception check, you recognize this arena as basically an old Roman-style gladiatorial arena. It's not quite on the same scale as, the Roman Colosseum. It's smaller. You know that first Colosseum in Gladiator, the movie that they,
yes.
so it's very similar to that.
Okay.
and you notice that it's fairly set up quite similarly, because there is one portion of that arena that's got a big tent over it. It has armed guards around it, and you see up top a very large, disgusting man, and he stands up, puts what looks like a primitive bullhorn to his mouth, and he says,
Welcome, gentlemen and lasses, goblins and ghouls, drow and dragons. Today we have very special challengers taking on our beloved champions.
and as he says that, the gate on the opposite side of the arena opens up, and 3 small green-looking humanoids walk out to the raucous applause of the crowd, and Chuck turns to say to you, okay, so that's the goblin triplets. This might be a bit more of a challenging combat than I expected. Everybody make a perception check.
Fuck, you said they'd be bunnies.
Yeah, I said to Chuck with that. Those look like bunnies, Chuck.
Oh, it was speculation on my part.
Clearly.
Oh, here we go.
So Darren with the 19, David with the 13, Alex with the 7. Alex is, when he walked out, he, got some sand in his eyes, and he's currently rubbing his eyes. He has no idea what's going on. But Darren and David, with your pretty decent rolls, you notice that these 3 goblins, they look kind of tired, and they have what looks to be fresh blood on them. So it almost looks like they have recently fought.
Okay. I lean over to like backwards to Alex, and I'd be like, this might be okay, man. They look kind of wore out because he can't see anything.
Oh, I can't see anything.
Okay. Stay close.
Alex just has like snow blindness, but with sand blindness. What do you do?
Yeah, I look to Chuck.
He's like, okay, boys, this is where we gotta do the song and dance. We gotta go in front of the master. We gotta, entertain him. And then we're gonna be able to try and kill these little goblins. Oh, and by the way, these goblins, they're fairly famous, and I can tell you that their names are Snap, Crackle, and Pop. One of them is named Snap because, he likes snapping bones. The other one's named Crackle. That's the fat one. They name him Crackle because, the crackle of the fire while he's cooking food. Usually, whoever he defeats in combat. And then Pop. Pop likes to just, pull things out of joints. That's why they call him Pop.
Hey, Chuck, keep that shit to yourself.
Thanks for the pep talk.
The 3 goblins approach the master's tent in the arena. Do you follow suit?
Yeah, I'm at the point where like if I'm kind of following Chuck's lead, but like tentatively and behind him, just like if anyone's going to go down first, it's going to be Chuck.
So for someone with such a small stature as Chuck, he has,
he's 30 feet.
He has the swagger and confidence of the most tallest, strongest man you've ever seen, and he walks right up to the master's tent and says, "Master, we're ready to go."
I just nod.
Anybody
I
else?
start beatboxing.
I'm sorry, you what?
I start beatboxing. I'm pretty convinced that my character... I'm still convinced that we're in some kind of industrial rave.
While you're doing this, I just feel my hands kind of just make its way to the lute, and I'm just like, I feel you, man. I just kind of start strumming along with you.
Oh, nice. So you're providing like a baseline beat.
Yeah. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, boom.
As they're doing that, I'm slowly backing up so they're both in front of me.
Okay, so once the whole ceremony with the master has concluded, he says, "Let the fight begin." And the goblins there's 4 pillars within the arena that kind of denote starting positions. And you kind of have to start what you're going to do between these 2 pillars on either side. So they take their place between their 2 pillars. And do you guys take your place between the pillars?
Yeah.
I guess so.
I hang out to... There's 2 pillars next to each other, right?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like if you would imagine basically like a basketball court, and the pillars are on either side of the ends of the basketball court.
Okay. I go as far back as possible, and
You will have to start between those pillars. You can't just back up. So it's like you have to start with the pillar basically on either one of your shoulders.
Okay. Can I hang out by the pillar closer to the left side, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. As you want to be basically right up next to it.
Okay. Yeah, I do. I want to be like just sitting right up against it, basically leaning on the pillar on the left.
So what I'm getting at is you want to take cover behind the pillar as soon as the fight starts.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Darren, what do you do?
Yeah, I just kind of shuffle my way over to my pillar, and I'm just studying, looking around the Coliseum, like looking at how high the walls are. I'm just trying to like take in the layout of everything in case there ever needs to be like any type of retreat or something like that. I'm just trying to still get my bearings and like, where am I? What's everything look like? Is there a way I can get out of here? But I'm doing this while making my way to my pillar.
Cool. And David?
I think I'm just gonna, just because I'm a little scared right now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to follow Darren and just kind of join with him because he reminds me of home, and I'm just gonna stick with him.
Aw, you remind me of home too,
Yeah.
baby.
He's your safety blanket.
Yeah.
Okay, and Chuck is basically just going to stand dead center of the pillars, and he takes an arrow out of his quiver, knocks it on his bow, and he is ready to rumble. Everybody roll initiative.
Here we go.
Oh,
The-
damn, David.
Damn, son. Where's initiative on these sheets again?
Hide armor class.
Boom. Thank you.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, initiative. Yeah.
Wow, you guys rolled pretty decent initiative, and hold on, I'm going to roll for Chuck, my first physical roll.
There it is.
And Chuck got a 12 on initiative.
Keeping the theme, Chuck.
Okay, let's go. So, David, you are up first.
So these goblin triplets, they're kind of at the other end of this.
Yeah,
Also sized.
Yeah, exactly. So let's say they're 35, 40 feet away, and they're all in a line, and you go left to right, snap, crackle, and pop. Snap is very tall, lanky, very sinewy. He looks like he's probably pretty dexterous. Crackle in the middle is fat and short. And then Pop on the right just looks like a really short dude that never leaves the gym.
Good stuff.
Okay. I guess I will. So do I kind of just like have feelings of knowing that I can do the, or like doing certain spells and cantrips and stuff, or do you like?
Yeah, so
look.
No, so I feel like the way it's going to work is basically like you're taken over by just natural instinct rather than having to like study your brand. It's something inside of you has changed both physically and mentally, and you just, you know what you need to do to survive.
Okay. All right. And you said they're about 35 feet away?
About 35 to 40 feet away, yeah, by your estimation.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I'm going to move up about 10 feet so that I'm about 30 feet away from them. Specifically Pop. I'm going to go for Pop. I don't like the way he looks.
All right, the one on the right.
Yeah. And I'm going to do some thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy, yeah.
Love it. I feel this like power through, and it's like I feel like I could do something with this. And actually no, that's not what I thought it would be. Case that, never mind. I am going to
Let's try again.
Yeah, I'm gonna still go to where I was going. I'm not gonna use that spell, but I am going to use my little crossbow, my hand crossbow, and try to take a shot at him.
Okay, perfect. Roll me an attack roll. And that's a 15?
Yes.
Okay, so a 15 matches his armor class, and in D&D, an attack roll that matches the armor class, the tie goes to the runner, so you do hit.
Hey.
And so roll me some damage on your crossbow. 8 damage.
Seems all right.
Okay, so you knock an arrow in your crossbow, take aim, let it fly, and it hits him right in the shoulder. And he looks at you with anger in his eyes, and he rips the arrow out of his shoulder, kind of licks the blood off the arrow tip, and he says,
Oh, God.
"Nice shot, my son, but let me show you how it's really done." And so it's his turn next.
Oh God.
And so you said you moved up about 10 feet, right?
Yeah. Quick
Okay.
side note question here. When I first got knocked out in the real world, I lost 1 health point. Am I still missing that health point?
No, you would have had a long rest.
Okay. All right.
Good follow-up.
Yeah, no, excellent question. So you are within range of his movement speed, so he's going to run up to you. He's going to take out his scimitar, and he says, "That was a good shot, but it's my turn now." And he takes a swing at you with his scimitar.
Oh no.
And what is your AC?
14.
Okay, so he rolled a 17.
Oh.
And so he's going to roll a 1d6 of damage, and that is 2 damage that he does. So describe what is, like, where does he hit you?
2 damage.
2 damage, yeah.
I would say he gives me a slice across my left arm, like kind of like below the shoulder.
Okay, so like a Russell Crowe and Gladiator type wound.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, nice. Second Gladiator reference. We're on a roll.
Yeah, see how many we can get in. I'll put a counter in.
Yeah, okay, and so it is going to be Crackle's turn next. And unfortunately, David is the only one within a range of his movement speed, but seeing as how
I don't like this.
Seeing as how Pop is already engaged with him, Crackle tries to run up to David, but Pop looks at him with just anger in his eyes, and he says, "This one's mine!" And so Crackle is going to redirect his attention towards Darren. He's going to move his full 30 feet. However, you are just out of range of his melee attack, so he can't really do... And oh, actually, no, he has a short bow. Never mind.
Well, no, I don't think what you originally said there.
So he's going to take out his short bow, and he's going to go, I don't really like fighting. I just like eating the people that I get to kill. So if you could just like stay still while I do this, it'll be way easier. And so he's going to take a ranged weapon attack, and he rolls a 16. What is your armor class, Darren?
Yeah, that is a hit. I am a 13.
13. Okay, so he is going to roll a 1d6 of damage. And that is 3 damage to Darren. So where does this arrow hit you, Darren?
Oh, that's a decent amount. So that's going to kind of find a spot between where my shoulder armor and my chest armor meets, and kind of where that first goblin got hit by that first arrow from Chuck. It's going to smash me right in between that. But I try and be cool to try and intimidate and pull it out to lick it. But I'm a bitch, so it doesn't go well. And I just go like, and just leave it. No, that's staying in.
Let's just put it back in.
Yeah. I couldn't even get it out. I felt the tug, and I went like, nope.
All right, well, actually, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Con saving throw? Okay.
Oh! Okay, so you successfully pull the arrow out.
Yeah!
And although it is extremely painful, you hold back your tears and you appear to be at least somewhat of a badass.
Can I try and make, like, my face is turning like red right now from me trying to hold back the pain and the scream. I want to try and make that face seem like I'm turning red because I'm like raging or intimidating, and direct it at the goblins.
Give me an intimidation roll. Oh, 17. Okay, so the goblin looks at you and he's like, "Oh, that's not cool, man."
All right, I'll take it.
Okay, and then he's going to use the last of his movement to run as far away from you as he can.
Yeah.
So he runs another 10 feet away from you.
In Goblin, I shout, "Eat shit, pussy."
Oh, you can speak Goblin.
I can speak Goblin.
When'd you learn this?
I don't know, man. It just came to me.
All right, so Alex, you are up next in initiative.
Okay. I am currently hiding behind a pillar. So, and I also noticed that Snap, no one's really done anything with Snap yet. So I immediately try to look behind the pillar and identify where Snap is going.
Snap hasn't had a turn yet, so he is still in starting position on the far left. So if you took position on your far left post, to you, he's basically straight ahead, about 35 feet.
Okay, perfect. Where is Chuck? I look around for him. He's still in the middle of the arena, right?
Well, Chuck hasn't had a turn yet, so he's about 10 feet to your right, directly to your right, off your right shoulder.
Okay, I think I'm going to go away from my original plan then. Because I wanted to try and go after Snap, but I think I'm going to go after Pop, and I'm going to come out from the pillar, take aim at Pop, and with my crossbow, I'm going to try and shoot Pop in the head.
You're going to shoot Pop in the head?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Give me an attack roll. Hold on, actually, would you like to make a called shot? Because in Dungeons & Dragons, you can call your shot, but your attack roll would be at disadvantage. However, if you hit, you double the damage you do. So if you want to call your shot for a headshot, then you would roll at disadvantage. Or you could just make a regular attack roll.
I think I'm just going to go with a regular attack roll.
Perfect. Make me an attack roll.
Okay, which one's the attack roll?
It would be the one next to your weapon. So it's like you've got your bow or whatever, and it says hit/DC, and then your modifier on it. So click that one, with whatever weapon you're using.
Yeah, I didn't, I don't think I've equipped my,
Oh, you haven't equipped it yet. Okay, well, you're going to have I believe a +3 to your attack roll, so just give me a straight D20 roll, and we'll add +3. Yeah, that's not going to hit. So Alex, completely unfamiliar with this contraption they call a crossbow, knocks his arrow, but unfortunately he puts the pointy side the wrong way, and he lets loose the arrow, and it just kind of goes twing and flies off to nowhere and does nothing. And Pop looks at you with just disgust and secondhand embarrassment. Sorry, Alex.
I immediately run behind the pillar again and hope that Pop is the only one that saw me.
Perfect. Okay, and now it is Chuck's turn. And Chuck is a tad OP when it comes to attacks. So Chuck is going to go to Darren.
Oh.
And Chuck's going to be like, "Oh, hey there, buddy. I'm just gonna do a little something here. Please don't think I'm trying to, molest you or something."
Let's just sneak past you here real quick.
And he is going to put his hand on you and cast Cure Wounds.
Tight.
And he is going to do 3 points of healing to you.
Oh, I feel the wound close in my shoulder. And I look at him. I'm just like, Chuck, fuck yeah, bud.
And then Chuck is going to use his bonus action to give... Oh, actually, is that a bonus action? Hold on. Let me see if I can find my bonus actions here. Oh, Chuck has 2 actions. Never mind. So Chuck is then going to, after having healed Darren, he is going to take that arrow he knocked and aim it at Pop, who is the one currently standing next to David. And Chuck is going to roll 7. And so, David, you feel an arrow whiz right past your head, like scarily close past your head. And of course, the goblin, being only about crotch height, is nowhere near that shot. And you look back at Chuck, and Chuck's like, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
Get together, man. Come on, game pace.
Okay, I'll do better next time. And then it is Snap's turn, and Snap, having seen Alex take aim at him, runs up to Alex, seeing he's behind the pole, and he looks at you and he says,
"Well, hey there, Slim. I'm gonna stab you."
Jesus Christ, he's insane.
and he makes a attack roll with his scimitar, which is a +4 to hit, and that is a 12, which is a 16. Alex, what is your armor class?
Armor class is 13.
Okay, so that hits, and he is going to do... Ooh, he does 5 damage. So, Alex, he takes out his knife, and he stabs you right in the gut.
Oh. Okay,
So you take 5 damage.
Yeah.
I get stabbed in the gut.
That's not nice. I don't like that.
You gotta put that on your character sheet. I can see you. Don't you try and cheat me, boy.
Give myself another 12 health here quick. Wait a second.
All right, Alex is down to 4 health, so Alex is looking rough.
Chuck, we are those uncle hands on him next.
But we are back to the top of initiative roll, which means, David, you get to take an action. What would you like to do?
I didn't go that round.
I'm sorry?
I didn't attack or do anything that round.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not see you?
Yeah, because I've been waiting to cast my mage armor.
Oh, okay. Well, if you never die, I'm so sorry. I don't know how I missed it. Darren, go for it.
I would have cast mage armor because I felt that probably would have helped me not eat that arrow that first
All right,
time.
and explain mage armor to us.
So basically, I look down at my forearm and I see just mage armor kind of floating there, and I was just like, well, that feels like that's probably an important thing in a fight. So I cast it, and when I do, kind of like a deep bluish kind of purple, almost like LED type light just kind of pulses out of my body, and like this look of super heavy plate, spiky armor kind of transparent, opaquely shines across my body and just kind of flashes and then just kind of slowly fades down. So all you can see is like through it in a way that it's like you turn the opacity down to like 15%. And there's just
Like
this
when they activate the armor in Dune.
Exactly. Yeah, you kind of, it's there. There's just this purple. You can, like, if you really focus on it, you can see, like, the finer details. But aside from that, it's almost, like, negligible to see. And I can't...
All right. Make sure you notch that off on your spells.
Yeah. It looks like it is... Yeah, I can't click it anymore now. So...
Yeah, as long as you click cast, it'll automatically take up one of your spell slots.
Excellent. So then my armor is now... should be 3 above that, which would put me to 16.
Nice. Okay, that's a decent armor class.
Yeah.
And is there any bonus actions or anything else or movement you would like to do before the end of your turn?
I'm going to take a page from Alex's book, and I'm going to reposition, putting the pillar between me and the goblins.
Pillar, the one Alex is behind, or the other pillar?
The pillar that I'm standing.
Okay, perfect. So you and Alex are basically opposite right now.
Yeah, and I'll be taking cover behind it, but I can, like, still see around it if need be, attempting to just stay out of sight, out of mind.
Perfect. All right, and then we are back at the top of initiative, and David, you're up.
Okay, so from where I am, Pop's right beside me, right? Is there, including, like, everyone else, like, everyone here, who's within, like, a 15-foot cube of me?
Well, Pop, like you said, is right there.
Yeah.
Flenkel would be within 15 feet because he ran away from Darren. And then, so you've got 2 of them within 15 feet because Snap is basically right next to Alex, who's about 20 feet away from you.
Okay. So I'm going to cast a spell, and it kind of seems Darren. I'm looking at my tattoo. I'm like, hey, this seems like it's gonna be badass. I'm gonna give this a fucking try. And I'm gonna do Thunder Wave. So it's a 15-foot cube originating from me, and any creature within that needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. What's the check?
13, I think.
Okay, they have a 0 to Constitution. So first one is a fail. He rolled a 12. And Crackle is going to roll, and he rolled an 11. So both of them fail their Constitution saving throws.
Okay, so they both take 2d8 damage. Now, do I roll that separately for each one of them?
Yes. So roll 2d8 and then 2d8.
Okay, so we'll say this first one's for Pop then, since he was right beside me. Not great.
Okay, so before you roll the next one, because you had already done 8 damage to Pop, that 6 damage that you just rolled on Thunder Wave, you see him basically cook from the inside out.
Yeah.
He falls over just smoking. Like there is smoke coming out of him. So much smoke that you think he's actually going to catch on fire, but he doesn't. And he falls down dead.
And also, it pushes him, his dead corpse body, whatever's left of him, 10 feet away. Just blows it 10 feet.
You know what? Just for the sake of funsies, I'm going to say that his body gets blown into the crowd, and there's this little kid there that catches his dead body. He's like,
Dad, look, I caught one! I finally caught one!
I congratulate Dad. I was like, good job, David. And then I pointed at that and go, what the fuck?
So then, here's the other one for other buddy. Ooh, that's a good one.
oh, boy. You just rolled 8 plus 8 on 2d8 damage. Okay, okay, fine. I'm gonna say this now. He's dead, and you're allowed to describe what happens to him.
Okay, so, how far away was this guy from me?
About 10 feet.
Or 10 feet away? Yeah, I'm gonna say the thunder wave hits him so hard that he just goes flying back into the pillar and just like shatters, kind of, like armor bits and pieces kind of get thrown everywhere, and he just like drops to the ground, just smoking.
Well, let's specify. Is it the pillar Alex is hiding behind, or the pillar Darren is hiding behind? Which one of them is going to get viscera on them?
Let's say Darren. Let's go for it.
All right, Darren, you have a chance to react to that.
Okay, so it's in a hit and it just spews goo all over me, and it's just as I was celebrating David. So like, because it all happened in like a flash of a second, and he hits the pillar and just turns into viscera, and the blood splatters all over me, but I was in the middle of being like, fuck yeah! So a bunch of it went in my mouth, and I'm just one hand on the pillar now, retching on the ground, just like, oh my god! Oh, so fucking gross! Oh god! That's what I'm doing.
All right, well, then, Darren, it is back to you, because both those goblins just got fucking destroyed.
I want to use a bonus action really quick, too, if I can.
Yeah, of course, go for it.
I'm gonna give Darren a little, since it's his turn next, I'm gonna give him a little bit of my bardic inspiration with my V-shaped lute.
Nice. Okay, so, and David, I am going to say, since you haven't used your bardic inspiration yet, because you haven't used it, it has expired.
It's been 10 minutes? All right, that's fine.
Yeah, so Darren, it is your turn, and you do have bardic inspiration, which, David, at level 1, it's so extra 1d6?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, Darren, you're up.
All right, so I try to play it off cool from what just happened. I kind of slowly walk out from behind my pillar in front of it, and I just point at the last goblin that's left, and in goblin speak, I say, "You're fucked now, bud."
And the goblin looks at you and he says,
Come at me, bro.
So I'm going to just smoke all 3 of my magic missiles into him.
oh god, you don't even have to roll for magic missile, do you?
I sure don't. It's just straight damage. So that's going to be 3d4 plus 1, and then the d6 from Bardic.
A 3d4 on a level 1 spell?
For Magic Missile, you betcha. Magic Missile rips, dude. Right out the gate. It's bread and butter.
All right, roll me some damage.
All right, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, I almost put 4. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Smash those. So 10, 13 damage, and then I'm going to hit with the D6. Oh, yeah, plus another 6. So 19 damage.
All right. And so he looks at you and he says,
Why you gotta do me like that? I thought we were having fun.
I'm so happy he's dead. He's so guilty.
and he falls to his knees and looks up to the heavens. He says,
Mama, I'm coming home.
and he falls face first into the sand, dead.
Yeah, boys.
And as he falls face first into the sand, dead, the crowd erupts in raucous cheering. And the master stands up and he says,
Let's hear it for our new champions. Tomorrow they shall be the ones facing the challengers in a new battle, but tonight they shall be reaping the rewards of victory.
I'm celebrating. Hands are up in the air. I'm like looking at David, being like, "Fuck yeah, buddy!" It's like we did it. I just casted magic. Like my dick is rock hard right now.
okay, so
If my stuff were so tight, you would see.
Yeah.
everybody make me a Constitution saving throw.
Push it against that boiled leather, son.
Okay.
Oh, that was close.
Eric, did you just roll a nat 20?
No, 18 plus 2.
Okay, so all of you failed the Constitution saving throw, but that's a good thing. Because you look around you at the arena packed with creatures of all kinds. You see dragons, you see goblins, you see dwarves, you see elves, and you're just overwhelmed with a sense of euphoria. Something within you has really enjoyed what has just transpired.
Sure did.
Yeah, I'd say
I just got stabbed.
Alex has a gaping wound in his gut, but still feels amazing.
Yeah,
I'll never come more alive. Yeah.
Yeah, and so Alex, you are actually. You know what, Alex? Make me a sleight of hand roll.
Light a hand. Oh, down here.
Okay, so Alex, you tried to like wrap the wound with a piece of cloth from the clothes you're wearing, but it just kind of falls off. And so you're still just kind of bleeding from a stab wound to the gut, but you're alive, and you feel surprisingly okay for somebody that just got stabbed in the gut by a scimitar wielded by a goblin.
This could be worse, like for however bad this is, like this, I could be at work right now, so this is not so bad.
It's gonna be a pretty cool scar.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a C-section scar. Okay, so after you're done celebrating, reveling in the cheers and the applause and the flowers that are raining down on you, you get approached from behind and shackled once again. Unfortunately, they rolled very well on their stealth and have been able to shackle your hands behind your back as they lead you back towards the tunnel that you originally came out from. Do you guys want to try and do anything at this point?
I'm gonna kind of yell at him, be like, "Come on! I thought this entertains you."
Oh yeah, well yeah, I did, but we still have to take you back so you can fight tomorrow.
Do the victors get any type of pampering or like special treatment once we've done some good ass kickery?
Another voice behind you leans closely into your ear and he says, "You're about to find out."
Oh God. I look for Chuck. Where's Chuck on all this?
Oh, Chuck is following behind you. He hasn't been shackled because he has been deemed trustworthy by these people. And he is basically following behind you, waving at the crowd. And he's like, "Oh, good job, boys. That was fantastic. And now we get to claim our reward." And as soon as he passes kind of the precipice between the arena and the tunnel, he puts out his hands willingly and gets shackled by another guard to be led down the hallway.
I, to myself, am... Can I, like, insight him or anything? Just something... A part of me feels like he might be, like, with them.
What do you want to try to
I just
figure out?
I just want to see is he more complicit in this as like a slave that's been there for a while, or is he a double agent essentially? Is like just what I'm mulling around in my brain, because he seems a little too easygoing with these guards.
Too great in that fight, to be honest.
Yeah.
Roll me a insight check.
Oh, nat 20, baby.
It's a nat 20. So with a nat 20, you can tell that Chuck is not with these people whatsoever.
Okay.
But he is there for a purpose outside of what he has told you.
Oh, okay. All right.
He is not an innocent, haphazardly captured prisoner that these people have been able to force into these fights.
He is there
for a reason.
Gotcha. Okay. And I know that, yeah?
Yeah, but you are welcome to share that with your companions.
When we get to a quiet kind of space, I will just passively, I'm going to share that with them.
Okay, well, this is an audio podcast, so we'll get there and you can do that,
That's true.
Audioly. Okay, so you are being led down the same hallway you came in, and you're starting to get kind of the lay of the land, as it were. And this cell holding area is basically in the shape of a T. And the hallway that you came in is basically the stem of the T. And when you first were taken out of your cell, you know that your cell, to go back to it, you would have turned right. However, this time you turn left and you get put into a different cell. And as you get put into the cell, you are unshackled, pushed into the cell, and then the door is slammed behind you. Everybody make me a perception check.
Perception. Boop. Ooh, not the best.
Well, it's okay. There was only a 5 check for this, so you all passed it. Because as you get pushed into the cell, you see a table with a buffet fit for a king.
You see
You see grilled meat, you see veggies, you see bread, cheese, and fruits. And then in the corner, there are 4 flagons next to a very large cask of some sort.
Yeah. I beeline it for a beer, and then I go take a look across that table of food, because I'm famished.
What does everybody else do?
Can I make an attempt to treat my wound?
Yes, absolutely. Make me a medicine check. That's a 5, so Alex takes a grape from the table and shoves it inside of his wound for some reason.
I'm not sure why, but I feel like this grape might have some healing properties, so I'm going to give it a whirl and see. Oh,
Live your best life.
but that did not work. No. Oh, God.
Is there anything else? Any questions? Any attempts at escape? Anything you guys would like to do?
I'm going to walk over to Alex and David and just be like, hey guys, so just like full disclosure, I'm talking like low voice, but like full disclosure, Chuck's cool, but I don't think he's a prisoner here like we are. You know what I mean? Something's going on with Chuck, so just kind of keep your head on a swivel around the guy.
Yeah, he seems a little off. I'm going to keep my eye on him.
Yeah, let's keep it to ourselves, play close to the vest for the time being, but let's keep an eye on him for sure.
Chuck is like knees deep into the biggest turkey leg you've ever seen, and he looks at you guys talking in the corner, and he just looks up with a mouthful of meat and smiles at you.
I smile back at him.
Yeah, I give a little wave, and after that I pick up my tankard and I go join Chuck at the table with intention to I give Alex a little nod to kind of let him know that hey, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna sleuth.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to go with him. Yeah, I want a little bit of that meat too. I'm feeling a bit hungry.
Yeah, turkey leg.
Yeah, my character flaw is I have a weakness for vices of the city, especially hard drinks. So my guy just goes straight to the booze, and he's double fisting it right now. That's all he's going for. Not even any food.
Love it.
David, make me a perception check. Okay, so with that perception check, the booze that you guys are currently drinking, you can tell that it is a pretty bitter ale. It's like have you ever had a triple IPA?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so it tastes like a triple IPA with just a hint of honey and sweetness to it, but you can tell that it is extremely potent alcohol.
Exactly what I was looking for.
Perfect. All right, what else do you guys want to do before and with your actually retconning this with your successful perception checks previously, you can tell that there are 4 beds also in this cell. I mean, they're not the most comfortable of looking beds. They're basically burlap sacks filled with hay, but it's better than sleeping on the cold hard ground.
I'm gonna sit next to Chuck and just finishing up. I just have a plate full of. I saw they had a bunch of sausages and stuff there, so I just have a mound of sausage and potatoes in front of me, and I'm just eating them like pepperoni sticks. And I look over at Chuck after washing it down with a bit of ale. And once the booze gives me a bit of courage, I'm just... So how'd you find yourself in this situation, man?
Oh, it's a interesting story, If you hadn't, figured it out from my actions in the arena, I'm what they call a ranger. So, I was out in a forest hunting, being kind of stealthy, seeing what I can figure out about this place because I've heard some pretty bad things, and unfortunately, I was set upon by some brigands who tried to take me into custody. I was able to defeat them, but unfortunately, I got blamed for murdering them. Self-defense, whatever. And I got taken into custody after they caught up with me, and I've been here for must be a couple months at this point. So it's been a while, but I've been surviving.
You mentioned you were investigating some unsavory things, about the master, or is there something else that you're kind of looking into? Because we don't know where we are, who anybody is. Anything you can help us or we can help you with would, scratch our back, we'll scratch yours kind of idea.
Well, like I had mentioned, there's been, lots of rumors, lots of talk, lots of gossip about people like yourselves kidnapped from your world and taken to ours, and this place seems to be a hotbed of those types of people. And so unfortunately, the first group of people that from your world didn't make it. I didn't get here in time, and so I was sent to try and figure out what was going on. And unfortunately, I got nabbed, and I'm very happy I'm able to meet you people. You know.
Do you have any plans of being unnabbed? And I kind of lean in close and just like, you looking to crack out of this joint at any point?
It's been on my mind, and I've been formulating a few plans here and there. Don't you worry about old Chuck, don't you know?
I slap him on the back, just making it seem like we're having like drunken celebration. I just say, well, if you want to share those plans and maybe help us out, like, well, I would be, and I'm sure, hopefully, maybe the other guys too, but very interested in blowing this popsicle stand.
Did they let me by chance like bring my little instrument in here to like play some music for us while we're like celebrating or anything like that?
You know what? I will say they took all your weapons off you, but I will say they left you with the loot. Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
Actually, no. I will say this: they took all of your weapons plus the loot off you. However, there was a loot waiting for you in the cell.
That'll work. I'm gonna kind of set up camp by the keg and just kind of like look at everyone and be like, we need to celebrate. We need to party, boys.
All right. What kind of tune do you play? Is it like something upbeat and dancey?
It's gonna be like a drinking song to get everyone kind of drinking from this tankard a little bit.
All right. Roll me a performance check.
There we go, boys.
Oh, okay. 15 plus 5 is... Wow, bards have a plus 5 to performance at level 1?
Yeah, there was, I think, something from the Tiefling gave me a little bonus there that I could add.
All right, so, yeah. With that 20, you play the most upbeat, happy song that anybody in this room has ever heard.
Now my friends lay me down to sleep, a fifth of whiskey down by my feet. If I die before I wake, tell everyone I drank it straight. Chug, 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 chug.
Love it. All right, and as you guys party into the night, eating, celebrating, ignoring the fact that what the fuck is going on, you all fall into a very deep sleep. And everybody... well, you can all take a long rest, by the way.
Oh, tight.
So Alex, you'll get healed, and the other two will get some spell slots back. So everybody roll me a Constitution check.
Oh, that was almost a 1. Oh, can't check. I did a save. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, I did a save.
It doesn't matter, David. You rolled a 1.
Can I go back to the 21?
It actually works in your favor if you fail that check.
Oh, then never mind. We're good.
So you guys are any of you snorers?
Yeah, big time.
I'm told I am, yeah.
Yeah,
I am.
Right.
I don't know if I believe it.
All right, so, well, at least Darren and David snoring away. Alex not making a noise, apparently, because he's better than all of us.
Yeah, right. No apnea for him.
Yeah, right? God. Fancy nose and all. Fuck that guy. And so...
I've got a hole in my fucking stomach here, and I need something to go for me.
Yeah, you're not snoring because the air is coming out of the hole in your stomach.
Yeah.
So all of you failed that check, which actually is a good thing, because all of you, in the early hours of the morning, after you've gotten a pretty decent rest, you hear the jangling of keys on the inside of the cell. Do you wake up?
I'm a
Oh yeah, I'm up.
I'm a relatively deep sleeper. It would have to be louder than that to get me up. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm probably still out.
Okay, so then at least Alex wakes up, and it's dark, obviously. It's early morning. The sun has not yet come up. It's starting to come up, but it hasn't hit the cell in a way that it illuminates the cell. And Alex, you see Chuck currently trying to pick the lock of the cell door. And so, metagaming, Chuck rolled a successful sleight of hand check while they were walking him back to his cell and was able to swipe a key from one of the guards.
Attaboy, Chuck.
Alex, do you want to do anything?
I am going to make an attempt to wake up Dave and Darren.
Okay. How do you do that?
How do I do this quietly?
I guess I'm going to start with Darren, and I'm going to run over and I'm going to plug his nose.
Are you good? Oh, God. What the fuck? Dude, Chuck's trying to get us out of here. What? Oh, jeez. Okay, sick shit. Okay. And I kind of... Okay. I start shaking David beside me. Just be like, David, get up. I didn't do my homework.
I hate those dreams. So as all three of you are now roused and awake, you see Chuck obviously fiddling with the lock. Do you want to ask him what's going on, or do you just want to see what happens?
Well,
I feel like I can gather what's going on, so I'm just gonna let him do his thing and not distract him while he's doing it.
yeah, I'm going to try not to make too much noise, but if there's like a pebble nearby, I'm going to try and get his attention with it by just kind of like underhanding it behind him so that he can turn to look at me and I can be like,
Okay, well, I'm not going to make you make a perception check on this because there's a table full of eaten food. So I'm going to say there's like a chicken bone on the table that you could probably use to accomplish that mission.
okay, so I'm not going to like throw it hard. I'm going to kind of underhand it and just hope to like land it like 2 or 3 feet behind him, just enough that it sounds just like a natural thing in an old dungeon falling.
All right, give me an athletics check.
Athletics? Okay.
15. Okay, so with a 15, you land it basically like Chuck, well, being 3 feet tall, he doesn't have to, bend down to, get at the lock where his face is
Right.
like equal with the lock. He's just standing there as a halfling fiddling with this lock, and he notices that this chicken bone falls directly between his feet, and he turns to the three of you, and he doesn't say anything, but he sees that all three of you are awake, and he silently puts his finger to his lips, and he doesn't make any noise, and then he gets back to work.
Okay, I just nod. He does that. I nod to be like, yeah.
I take my hand and put my 2 fingers at my eyes and then point at Chuck to signify, hey, I see you, buddy. I see you.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then kind of this loot upside down by the neck of it and kind of give him the head nod, letting him know that I'm in it.
Yeah.
All right, and Chuck just looks back at all of you and gives you that downwards head nod of acknowledgement.
We're in the plan now, boys.
So all of a sudden, you hear Chuck has accomplished his mission because you hear the clunk of the lock turning over, and Chuck comes up to you, and he says, "Okay, boys, this probably shouldn't have worked because typically the keys only work from the outside of the cell. But I was able to manage to get the lock open with a successful sleight of hand check." He doesn't actually say that. But he says, "I was able to get the lock open. I need you boys to trust me. Do you trust me?"
I just silently nod.
Nobody wants to make an insight check or anything?
Well, now I do.
Yeah. Everybody give me an insight
Yeah,
check.
now I really want to make an insight check, actually.
That's a 12 from Darren, a 19 from David, and a 19 from Alex. Okay, so all of you know that, yes, you can trust Chuck.
Okay. Yeah.
And so Chuck turns away from you after getting the acknowledgement of trust. He walks up to the door. He opens the door. He closes the door behind him. And as he closes the door behind him, you hear the lock engage.
Can I, while that's happening, am I fast enough to move and have my foot in the door?
Okay, sure. Give me a dexterity check.
A dexterity check?
Oh, that is a 20. So I'm going to say yes, you are able to get your foot in the door in such a way that Chuck doesn't notice your foot is in the door, but it's still able to hold it open. And so when the lock engages on, because it swings into the cell.
Right.
And so when the lock engages, the deadbolt engages. The deadbolt doesn't go into where it's supposed to. It goes on the inside of the cell, and you can see it.
Oh.
And so you can still open it, if that makes sense.
After I get it, I'm going to turn around to the guys and give them an overexcited double thumbs up. I'm going to whisper, "Fuck Chuck, but let's follow him and hopefully not have him notice." Because did Chuck say anything before he did it, or did he just a dickhead?
He literally just said, "Trust me," and then when you made that insight roll, knowing you could trust him, he just turned around and did what he did.
Okay. I'm gonna... I think I'm still gonna hold back maybe, but just know that the door we're not locked in there. Makes me feel...
No, you're not locked in. The deadbolt is engaged, but the deadbolt is basically preventing the door from closing fully, and Chuck thinks that the door is locked.
Gotcha. I might fuck things up, but I didn't like seeing him close that door.
Does anybody else want to do anything before we progress?
I'm gonna fill up one more goblet full of booze to be ready for what's the...
Yeah, I'm gonna put like some jerky and some food in my bag.
Well, you don't have a bag, but you have pockets.
Yeah, works. I'll do it.
Alex, anything?
I'm gonna follow suit, and I'm also gonna grab a bit of food, perhaps just like some meat, and try to stuff my pockets with it.
All right, so you guys are basically just loading up on rations.
Yeah, totally.
I'm also gonna get a quick swig of ale, just because we're just waking up and a little bit of confidence here.
I mean, I'm not FOMO. I'm not gonna have that, so I tootle over there as well. We do a quiet little clinky before we all drink it. Yeah, because we're getting out, boys.
Dungeons, Dudes, and Dragons features Darren Warts, Alex Kerrigan, and David Beaton as our fearless adventurers, and myself, David Ashbaugh, as the Dungeon Master. Special thanks for additional voices provided this episode by Franji Ramahi and Jenny Gerling. Make sure to tune in next time to find out what happens to our fearless adventurers.